Hello and welcome to review of Birdie Wing Golf Girl Story Season 2. Now we're on episode 4. And for the first 3 episodes of Birdie Wing Season 2, there were so many answers that we have gotten. To a point where we understand Eve's and Auri's relationship and their parents, quote unquote, how it all started. I like to point out a fact that if you go on Birdie Wing, you see Eve and Aui. It says Eve, Aui are stepsisters. That's what it says on the bio. They said they're stepsisters. But then again, like I said, we know the truth about Aui, how she's all started. But Eve's story was more important than Aui's story. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Aui. But Eve's story was more like, what is Eve? You know, back in season 1, we just call her Eve. And we don't know nothing about her skills. Like, how was she able to do all these bullets? And yeah, there were times that we got a few answers, slight answers. Stuff about her, something about like with Leo, and she was an underground golfer. And now season 2, we just got every answer we want to know. Evangeline Burton, aka Eve, which still to this day, I think people like calling her Eve because that's the classic name for her, Eve. So we got Eve, and then we know about her parents. We know about the father, who we thought was Aui's father, but it wasn't. It was the coach. So that being said, the father is actually Kazuhiro, and the mother was Eleanor. But the thing about this was, it was something about Eleanor. Like, who is Eleanor? Who is Eleanor Burton? Who is she from? What is Eleanor? Like some random woman that you just met and married her and have a kid with Eve? No. We want to know the truth about Eleanor's backstory. And this is what we got. So without further ado, let's get right to the review of Birdie Wing Season 2, Episode 4 review. Okay, so let's cut to this. So the mom, Aui's mom, you know, there are two sides of a coin to this part, guys. Aui's mom wants to keep Aui away from the mafia. Now, but Aui wants Eve to play in the All Japan tournament. You know, she wants to play in the All Japan tournament. So then it's like, you know, Eve. So they planned this whole scheme to like kidnap Eve and then have her move her back to the country. Now move her back to Europe. Not Chris. I mean, I'm not good with the name. Bear with me on this one. So anyway, Eve. Now everybody's thinking like, why, Aui's mom? Why? Why did you do that? Okay, from a parent's perspective, I understand. Dealing with the mafia could affect everything. It might end up Aui killed, which we don't want. We don't want her dead. And I get that. But you gotta respect Eve. But you gotta love Aui. Aui wants to face Eve. Throughout every competitor that Aui faced, she has never fought anyone like Eve. So when Eve realized that the mafia is coming after Aui and all that stuff, getting involved with this, and Eve's just happy to move back. Eve's just like, the mafia's still after me? Okay, no sweat. I'm coming. She wasn't even sad that she's leaving the school. She wasn't even sad to miss out. She just want to go back there to handle some business. You know that song for American Dad? Taking care of business. That's the kind of thing. So she moved back. So she flew back and then ended up seeing Viper. You know, I kind of like Viper. It's nice to see her back with a new hairstyle. You know, in my mind before this, I'm like, is she pregnant? What if she ends up pregnant? And I hope she does soon. Anyway, we found out more about Eve's mother, Eleanor Burton, 29. Father, Michael Burton. And then we find out Michael Burton's grandfather. We know about the grandfather now. So, Michael Burton, Eleanor's grandfather, runs Arios, one of the biggest golf brands ever. But now he's the head of the mafia. He is the head mafia. It's like the Godfather. He is the Godfather. So Eve wants to know the truth about that because she got her memories back and now all the pieces together. So she wants to see her grandfather and get more into the story about this. Now with Aui, going back to Aui sad that Eve's gone. She's not going back to school. I get that. But Aui now got to focus on beating the top player in Japan right now because that's her first match. She got to face her. So it's like this is the only way to become pro. This tournament that we're gonna get later on is all about trying to be pro. And Aoi is determined to do whatever she can to become pro. So she knows Eve is coming back. She definitely knows Eve is coming back. So she's training and training. Now her swings, I know she's been losing kind of, she's kind of like not focused. But I hope she stays focused until October comes for that, so that when we get to that match with Eve and Aoi in the finals, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the intense match we're going to see in Birdie Wing by far. Now, aside, but going back to Aoi, I'm gonna go back to Eve. But going back to Aoi, Aoi still needs questions. I mean, she still needs her answers. Who's her real father? And Aoi's mother is still locking that chain on her because she don't want to tell her the actual truth. So I hope Aoi gets her answers real soon. Now back to Eve. Going back to her grandfather. We found out more about Eleanor Burton, thanks to the butler that served the Burton family for years. So apparently, to sum up the storyline is this. Eleanor Burton was a golfer. That's something. You see, again, we didn't know what she is. We didn't know what she was. But now we know Eleanor Burton plays golf. That explains the elegant swing of Eleanor and the focus of bullets by Kazuhiro. So it's like, you know what? That makes a lot of freaking sense. And it explains why you wear the hat and all that, and the uniform and the hair. That all makes sense. You play just like your mom. She got that. It's like she got the posture of her mom, but the swing of her father. That's all I'm trying to say. So apparently, to sum it up like this. Eleanor is a golfer representing Arios, while Kazuhiro, represented Athena. But the thing is, when Athena got most of the shares, Eleanor, they thought they could bring him to Arios because he could bring up the market up, but no. And then with Eleanor, she escaped from this whole Arios thing and married and went to Athena. It's kind of like the Romeo Juliet effect. And if you guys watch Romeo and Juliet, you kind of know where I'm getting with this. So I ain't gonna go compare to all the Romeo and Juliet movies and scenes and anime. We all know how that works in the Romeo Juliet concept. Okay. But again, Europe and Kazuhiro from Japan. Again, the Romeo and Juliet effect. Anyway, she left to marry Kazuhiro and all that. But again, we still need more. I think we need more of Eleanor's backstory. Because if you go back last week's episode, we got Aoi's parents' backstory about how they met and how it all started. I hope we get some about Eve's mom backstory. We need to know how it all started with Eleanor backstory and what made her loving golf and all that. I hope we get to that real soon. So the butler's like, okay, if you want to see your grandfather, there is something. He's gonna be tomorrow at a competition. He's gonna be tomorrow at a place called in a golf course with the top rank 8 player in Japan. Top 8 player in Europe. I could be wrong. One of the top 8 players is gonna be with the grandfather. Okay. Now, I do like that scene though. Can I say this scene? I know people think about this scene. I like this scene when Viper was sleeping naked. I know she got her covers on her, but who liked that scene? Who likes that scene? Okay, so the next day, I like Eve. Eve got that fiery attitude, guys. She walked into the grass like it was nothing happened. She's like, I'm gonna challenge you. Literally just straight up wildfire. I want to challenge you straight up. I want you. And then the other player, again, I know she's not going to be important. I know she could probably be important, but I didn't really focus on her. I was focused on Eve. I was really focusing on Eve kicking ass when she just accepted the challenge. So first swing was 270 yards, but damn, Eve showed no mercy. They call her an amateur, but we all know damn well she's been a pro since day one. And the swings that she does, especially that rainbow shot, she performed it really well. She has developed, and just like Vapor said, she has evolved. Her golf skills has been developing ever since. ever since. We knew Eve's shots were gonna be epic. We knew Eve's shots were gonna be developing every time that we see her swing. From blue bullet to purple bullet, red bullet, orange bullet, even that rainbow shot that she make the ball swing into the that's something. And at the end of the match, she legit beat, not even a contest, she beat one of the top 10 players. She beat one of the top 10 players. I mean, like, come on. This is Eve we're talking about. Are we not surprised? Are we not surprised? Hell no. So now, since Eve won, she wants to become pro. And she's asking her grandfather, help me become pro. That's what I want. Because when the tournament's coming now in October, it's time for her to become pro. But I kind of left this out. The only reason she went back is because the Mafia is still after Eve. Catherine, the antagonist of Birdie Wing, put a bounty on Eve. So now the Mafia is going after Eve and kill her. To be honest, guys, I gotta tell you this. I didn't think of the plot. I didn't think of the antagonists, to be honest with you. I didn't think of the antagonists all this time. In Birdie Wing, I was always focusing on Eve's and Owie's relationship. I was focusing on Eve's and Owie's backstories, who was gonna be one up against each other, and you gotta love their matches and their team, etc. But still, I never thought of an antagonist in Birdie Wing because I always enjoy the matches. So I've been watching, but Catherine, the one that hired her other one to shot her in the head, you know that scene? Yeah. So Catherine still has a bounty on Eve. And that's why Eve is determined to move back to become pro until when the Japan opening tournament comes. Oh my God. There is gonna be a match made in heaven to see. And even Michael Burton knows who she was. I'm like, yeah, she got it from her daughter. She knows Evangeline Burton. So now she knows. Now he knows. But this is all about becoming pro. That's what it is. So, and Caddy is now leaving the school to be with Eve. So we're gonna see more of her. But anyway, this was a nice episode, by the way. I like the plot of Birdie Wing right now. It's really moving up. I mean, plot changes every time. Character development every time. Backstories is now evolving. Yo, Birdie Wing is that show you have to watch. It may not be as hyped as the Blue Lock. I get that. It's Blue Lock. But Birdie Wing has a story that you have to see about when it comes to violence, mafias, the friggin' golf. I get it, golf may not be a sport compared to basketball, the volleyball, the soccer, the baseball. I get that. But it's something about this Birdie Wing that makes you want to play golf. And this talent and the skill that these girls have in Birdie Wing makes you want to grab a Wii remote and play some golf. But like I said, this episode was so good to a point that not only we got returning characters like Vapor, but we're gonna see a development in Eve's and Aoi golf skills. Because their goal is to become pro. And when they meet up and compete, that's gonna be a different story. Now with Catherine, by the way, who's the antagonist and still have a bounty on Eve, I don't know what they're gonna do. They gotta find Catherine before shit happens. Because she's gonna be the cornerstone of the breakup between Eve and Aoi's playing together. And not only that, Aoi's mom needs to find a way to make Aoi happy and to make a point to end this whole charade, to make Aoi play with Eve once and for all. This is the moment that all stars are going to align. They're going to crash. We'll see where this goes. But again, this was a nice episode. I look forward for next week's episode of Birdie Wing, where Eve is going to train her ass like no tomorrow. We'll see where this goes. So stay tuned.